Okay, so this week we've been working on story problems that are represented through tape diagrams. So tape diagrams are a little bit tricky, so I'm going to do problem 2 to demonstrate how a tape diagram is done. You can see I kind of messed up filming and said the wrong thing, so I had to erase it there, but that's okay. Number 2 says, container B holds 2,391 liters of water. Together, container A and B hold 11,875 liters of water. How many more liters of water does container A hold than container B? Okay, so I'm seeing two categories. I'm seeing container A and I'm seeing container B. All right, and container A, we don't know. They didn't come out in the problem and tell us how much it held, but they did tell us how much container B held, and container B held 2,391 liters. Okay, and then it gave us the total. It says together container A and container B hold 11,875 liters of water. So the total is 11,875 between these two containers. Okay, so in order to find container A, to find an unknown, we need to take the total and subtract it from this other number to get this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. With the subtracting with these big numbers, it takes a little bit of time, so I'm going to do it quickly to save some time on the video, but it does take a little bit longer with all the borrowing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so after you do that, and I would pause and do that for a second, this is the number you get. That is the number in container A. Okay, but we are not done yet. We did find our unknown, but the actual question was, how many more liters of water does container A hold than container B? So I have my number for container A, and I have my number for container B. And they want to know how many more liters are in here than in here. The operation you're going to use to find that is subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and set up that problem. And again, for video's sake, I'm going to go through this quickly, but I would suggest pausing this video just so you can do this and be careful about it. All right, so after subtracting, I found that container A holds 7,093 more liters than container B. So writing your answer as a statement is really going to help you, because you are going to maybe make the mistake of thinking you're done when you get to this point, but you need to go through and actually answer the question. How many more liters of water does container A hold than container B? There was an extra step. We did that extra step, and you wrote your answer as a sentence. All right, on the back side, this also requires a tape diagram. Number 1 says there were 22,869 children, 49,563 men, and 2,872 more women than men at the fair. How many people were at the fair? They want a total. So this is going to be a lot of addition. So I'm seeing 3 categories. I'm seeing children. So I'm going to make a piece of tape for my children. I'm seeing men. So I'm going to make a piece of tape for men. And I'm seeing women. So I'm going to make a piece of tape for the women. And the total is the part that we don't know just yet. All right, so if I go through, I see that there was 22,869 children, 49,563 men, and 2,872 872 more women than men at the fair. So we also don't know the number of women, but they have given us the tools to do that. They said it's this many more than the number of men. So I need to do a quick addition problem to figure that out. All right, so I'm going to go through this one pretty quickly for video's sake. So you might want to pause it. All right, so by adding those two numbers together, this many more women than men, I get 51,935 women at the fair. So now I have all three numbers I needed, but it was a challenge because you had to find the number of women. So these problems really take a lot of time. That's why there's only 4 of them. They take a lot of time, a lot of thinking. Now, we're not done yet because they had the question, how many people were at the fair? So they want to know the total number. So you need to take all 3 of these numbers and line them up. And the operation would be addition because they want to know the total. All right, make sure to put addition to remind yourself that's what you're doing. And then I'm going to go through this. All right, I'm going to add up my tens. I'm going to add up my hundreds. I'm going to add up my thousands. All right, so then I count 1, 2, 3, comma. So your statement is there were 124,367 people at the fair. Make sure your statement matches up with the question that was asked. How many people were at the fair? There were 124,367 people at the fair. Always make sure you're answering the actual question they were asking you. All right, I hope this showed kind of more how tape diagrams work. They're tricky, but really stick with it and they will get easier.